He did not feel safe in his room. And he went to all the authorities to say, I don't feel safe in my room, and I want a safe room. At the end of the hall, 4 doors down, is a room that's intended for just these things. And they didn't give him that room. So in the middle of the night, 11:45, he's writing to his RA, who he trusts, and says, I don't understand. I've gone to DPS, Department of Public Service. I've gone to housing. They said, I don't qualify for a new room. I don't feel safe. I don't want to be in this room. And that's when one of the DPS security guards kicked in his door, grabbed him by the neck, threw him out into the hallway, slammed him face first against the wall, took him down chest first, and in handcuffs. And here's a deaf kid who communicates through sign language. His hands are tied behind his back. And from an eyewitness, she said there was one thing he was saying was the word why. So they let him sit there for an hour before Metropolitan Police came, and they arrested him. And there was no cause, none, zero. The arresting security guard claimed that he got a dispatch saying that there were 10 people in this dorm room that were in danger. There's no evidence of a dispatch. There's no record of it. The camera that should have been recording this miraculously lost the footage or erased the footage. And even if that were so, it would be very clear when he busted down the door that Gio was the only kid in the room, that nobody was in danger at all. So none of it made any sense. And from then on, it was institution over individual, protect the institution. Yeah, that's what happened. And he didn't know that we had an eyewitness. So he told his story. It didn't match up with our eyewitness. And when they found out that we had an eyewitness that saw the whole thing, in his deposition, he must have said, I don't remember, I don't know, I don't recall, 100 times. He said, I don't recall, I don't remember. It's tragic because we lose our children in different ways. I'm doing the film and I'm working with fathers, but when you know they suffered, that's the hardest part. And my boy, down on his face for 1 hour, was humiliated in front of his peers, and the college that services deaf students that you would think would be a little bit more sensitive to their needs. And he knew it was upon him. He said to a friend earlier on, besides getting thrown in jail, when he was left jail, he had a restraining order against his roommate, and Gallaudet still didn't give him a room. They still did not give him an emergency room. They kicked him off campus. Literally, he had nowhere to go. And so he hadn't slept for 3 days. I know he didn't sleep in jail. And, he had mental health issues. So this was an absolute acute situation. And it's the nightfall, and he texted his mom, you got to come pick me up. I'm in danger. And he said to me, I was in Florida at a wedding, and he said, Dad, have Mom pick me up right away. My life is in danger, immediate danger. And I said, what on earth is going on? So she texted me. She says, I'm on the way. She picked him up at the school, driving home. She says, Gio's with me. And I'm in Florida going, it worked. We relocated from California to DC just to be there for situations like this. We had no idea what had transpired the 2 days prior. Gallaudet didn't tell us anything. She says, I have Gio, but he's very fidgety. So she says, I got him. So I'm thinking, good. I went to sleep that Saturday night thinking, we're good. He's in safe hands. And she pulled up to her apartment, and she had to go pick up our daughter at a birthday party. And 2 of the friends that were in the car started walking up, and Gio got out of the car, and he said, Mom, why aren't you coming? And she says, I have to go pick up Cataline. And that, again, just got him, and says, I want to go back to Gallaudet. And she's like, what are you talking about? Why go back to? And he got angry because we didn't know what was going on at school. And I'm sure he was thinking, I'm finally with my parents and my mother's going. So she says, Gio, get in the car, come with me. We'll go pick up Catalina together. He goes, no, you go. You come back, I'll see you. She left. She came back. Gio wasn't there. Or wasn't at the apartment. And so now she's nervous. So she takes the car. She's going all over the neighborhood. She sees that the metro is still open. He said something about going back to Gallaudet. Maybe he went back to Gallaudet. So she went back to her apartment and called DPS and said, my son's not acting right. Is everything okay on campus? Did anything happen? We're not allowed to tell you. Well, yes, you do. You signed a HIPAA agreement. He goes, no, we can't tell you until Monday morning when the officer on duty or the captain, whoever gets it back into work, call Monday morning. And that was it. And Gio spent 4 hours in the pouring rain in Silver Spring, Maryland, Sligo Creek. And he came back at 5 o'clock in the morning. He pounded on the door loud enough that his deaf mother heard it. She came to the door. He was sopping wet, standing in the door frame and distraught. And he said, I'm going to kill myself. And she said, can you come in? And he said, okay. And he came in. And she says, can we sit down and have tea and talk about this? Let me get dressed and maybe you and I can go to the hospital. And he said, okay. So he wanted a glass of mead, which is a beer brew kind of thing that's made from honey. And in retrospect, I understand what that was, because the samurai who committed seppuku would always take a shot of sake before they did it. So he wanted a swig of his mead. And she says, well, let me go get dressed and I'll come back out. So she went in and he went right to his mead. He took a swig of mead, grabbed a butcher knife, and he ran out. And she ran after him. She yelled to her roommate, call 911. She didn't know he had the knife. She just knew he ran out. So she ran out and in the parking lot, couldn't find him. She got in her car, went all over the place, and he had gone to Sligo Creek. He had knelt down and died by seppuku, which is Japanese honor, because he had lost all his honor. He had been isolated from the tribe of the deaf, and he had been humiliated. And when the samurai came back from war, having lost the war, this was their way to even the score. He called for help. He knew it was coming. He knew it. And he cried for help. He asked his parents. He asked everybody at campus that could have helped him. All it took was one person. And teachers were calling BIT people, the behavioral intervention teachers were calling and saying, this kid is in a crisis. We need to do something. And the BIT team did not a damn thing. He told somebody on campus that day, I have this haunting feeling that today's my last day on earth. It scared him. He reached out for help. It's not something he wanted to do. The film takes a step in that direction, I think, in that it's not just the subject matter of the film, but it's how the film is made and what is the intent and vibratory nature that goes with that. For me, it used to be, get first place at a film festival or, go to UCLA, go to Sundance. And, it was about accomplishment. And it's not about accomplishment for me. It's about just honoring my boy and do what Gio would do, because he was like that. He remarkably humble, and that's how I see this process.
Once this thing is completed, sign what he would say, and then let us know, for those of us who don't know signing.